And I'd like to welcome everybody tonight to Hinsdale Library's 2024 Guide to Disney. Our presenter tonight is Megan Wrzesinski, who just got back from a trip from Disney to Disney this morning at 9:30. So she is fresh off the Disney experience, ready to share all of her insights and information. And she has a lot of tips about what's coming up in 2024 that's going to be different from this year. And so get out your pens and paper. You're going to want to take notes. And with Megan tonight is her partner, Erin Christie, and she's going to be here to help put some color commentary on it and to answer some questions as well. So without further ado, I would like to turn it over to Megan.
But thank you. Yeah, I still have that Disney glow on, right? So that Disney magic part of me. Don't want to lose that. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that way I can share with you guys some notes that I want to go through. And we're going to just kind of dive right in. So we're going to start with picking your dates. When should we going to Disney World? And there are certain things you want to be thinking of. Now, this calendar is for 2023. Things to be thinking of when picking your dates, if your dates are flexible, is first the Epcot festivals. There are different festivals throughout the year at Epcot that are very popular. We have the Arts Festival that happens in January and February, the Flower and Garden Festival that happens in the spring. The Food and Wine Festival is very popular, especially for adults looking for that adult-only trip, a girls' trip. That will happen. Usually it starts sometimes the end of July, otherwise definitely in August, and it'll go through November, like mid-November. And then Holiday of the Festivals happens from November into December in Epcot as well. There's holiday parties, which are a lot of fun that families love. So you'll have Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party that will start in August and go of August, September, and October. And then there's also Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party that I went to last night, which is super cute. During the Halloween party, kids can trick or treat and go to different trick or treat stations. Everyone's encouraged to wear costumes. There's special characters that come out. Special parades and shows. And then last night for Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, they had a special Christmas parade. They have different like candy cane stations where you stop and it was a different cookie and holiday cookie and treat that you're able to get. More pictures, holiday pictures, and special events. Keeping in mind spring break is going to be when it is busier. And that I really see, honestly, I see the crowd starting almost by President's Day, going almost until like mid-April. That's when the crowds are, beginning of March is a little bit lighter, but crowds really start filtering in starting President's Day weekend and really through mid-April. 2024, I think spring break, you're going to see a lot of rooms booking up already, resorts booking up already, because a lot of kids, a lot of schools, their spring breaks fall along when Easter falls. And a lot of kids have their spring break at the last week of March. And this year they overlap. Easter is the end of March. So a lot of school spring breaks are going to be overlapping. So we're going to see booking fill up quickly. So if you're looking at kind of that time of year for spring break, you definitely want to take a look sooner than later. And then also there's the Run Disney events, which are back for Disney World and Disneyland. And these are held over the weekend. They don't impact the parks at all. The races are held like at 5 a.m. So the parks operate on normal times, but you will see people there with those events and people love running and going to them. But if you're there while an event is going on, you're not going to notice a difference when you're going to the parks. So that's kind of picking your dates, thinking about what works best for your schedule. The summers are going to be hot, but we always go during the summer. There's ways to manage. There's the water parks.
Yes, it's hot.
It's hot, but it's still fun. No matter when you go, there's always something special going on and you're going to have a great time. All right. Next, we have Disney resort options. Disney has 4 kind of resort categories. They have the value, moderate, deluxe, and then the deluxe villa options. And now there kind of describes kind of the differences. Value is going to be kind of the large, colorful buildings, the over-the-top theming, the 3-story tall Coke bottle that my kids remember, the football field at All-Star Sports, no slides at these. They have multiple pools, but there's no slides or like interactive necessary features at these pools. They'll have a queen bed and usually another bed that's going to be a full down Murphy bed. Moderate resorts are going to give you your 2 queen beds and even a 5th bed that folds down, which is good for families of 5. Moderate resorts are also going to give you kind of a restaurant and a food court, food option. Deluxe resorts, those are going to be the ones closest to the parks and the attractions. You're going to have the shorter transportation time. They have water slides, multiple food options, and they also, guests staying at deluxe resorts on select nights get access to extended evening hours. And that means on Magic Kingdom on certain nights, they can go to the parks from like 9 till midnight, and it'll be only for deluxe resort guests. Certain nights it might be Epcot. You can go from 9 until midnight, and you can get a lot done there. It really is minimal wait during those times. And then the deluxe villa is going to give you the studios, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom options. And they also have access to the deluxe extended evening hours. For value resorts, one of the most popular ones is Pop Century. That is where, if you're looking at value resorts, oh, which one should I pick? Pop Century is a very popular one for them. Moderate resorts, families love Caribbean Beach because it does have the access to the Skyliner. But I also love Port Orleans. Port Orleans is a beautiful resort. Deluxe resorts, I love them all, but one of our family's favorite is Beach and Yacht Club. We think they have the best pool on property. But then there's 3 resorts right along the right by Magic Kingdom, the Contemporary, Polynesian, and Grand Floridian, and all of them are recently refurbished to have fun theming in the rooms. Contemporary has Incredibles, Polynesian has Moana, and Grand Floridian has Mary Poppins, and they're all beautiful resorts as well.
Really can't go wrong, I think, no matter where you stay.
No. And staying on property is definitely has the benefits because you're close to the parks. Transportation is going to, they're taken care of. You don't have to worry about driving to the parks. As soon as you get to the resort, buses are available, Skyliners are available. Some resorts might have boats that can take you to the parks. Early park access as well. Flexible modification when you're staying on Disney property. It's only a $200 deposit. Final payment due 30 days before, or if you're staying off property, there might not be as flexible. So definitely advantages to staying on Disney property. Right. There are different.
Hey, Megan, I had we have a question.
Sure.
One of our attendees is asking, what are your thoughts on art of animation?
Oh, that is a beautiful resort. Kids love that resort because of the theming there. You have the Little Mermaid rooms, and then you have this family suites that they love. They have the large, like I said, the 2-story characters, the big pool. They have a huge pool there that families love. And again, that's another resort that has access to the Skyliner, which I love because you're really not waiting for a bus to come. You can jump on that Skyliner to get to Hollywood Studios and to Epcot. So that is a great resort. Absolutely. I've stayed there before. I've stayed in the Little Mermaid rooms before. I haven't stayed in the suites before, but I have stayed in the Little Mermaid rooms before. All right. There's different park tickets to consider. Base tickets is going to be when you can enter 1 park per day. You can leave that park and you can go back to the resort and take a nap because you're tired and then go back later in the day. As long as you go back to that same park, that's absolutely fine. I suggest base tickets for guests who are visiting for the first time. You really want to devote 1 day to each park because there's so much that you can do in each park. Park hopper ticket is going to give you the chance to visit multiple parks per day. So I can start my day at Magic Kingdom. I can hop on over to Hollywood Studios. I can hop on over to Epcot. And if I'm really feeling it, I can even go to Animal Kingdom. They call it the 4-park challenge for those that really want to take that on. Same thing, you can leave, enter a new park. I suggest park hopper ticket for guests who have visited the parks before. They know what they like. They know what they want to do. Or for guests who are like, you know what, we only have this long weekend to get there. We don't have a lot of time, but we want to visit all the parks. Then I would suggest park hopper ticket. And then I would say, maybe I would combine Epcot, maybe Animal Kingdom in a day. Those would be 2 to kind of split between. And then the park hopper plus 1 is for the water. This is where you can add water park visits to your tickets, and then or in miniature golf. So I would really think about how many days would you be visiting the water park to see if it's if you think you might only be visiting the water park 1 day, it might not be cost effective to add that, but that is something we could definitely take a look at to see kind of the most cost effective for there. And Disney has 2 water parks, Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach, and they are both super fun, lots of water slides, wave pools that the kids love. Okay, so the 4 parks at Disney World, Hollywood Studios. This is where you're going to find Galaxy's Edge, all that Star Wars rides, Rise of the Resistance, Millennium Falcon. Toy Story Land is so cute. You have Slinky Dog Dash, Toy Story Mania, Alien Swirling Saucer. They also have lots of shows. They have Frozen show, Beauty and the Beast show, Indiana Jones show. So this is Disney. You can find some Disney Junior characters here as well. Families really like that park. Magic Kingdom is going to be where you have your iconic attractions, the ones you see in the commercials, Dumbo, Peter Pan, Cinderella's Castle. It's a Small World. Their newest attraction just opened in April, which was Tron. I got to ride it twice this past week.
Yes, I
A
want to
lot
hear
of
about this,
fun.
Megan. Was
I
it
did day
great?
and nighttime because I wanted to make sure I
Okay.
can, it's a research. I had experience it both ways. These, I would say these are my two most popular parks that I hear from clients when they say, oh, I only need 2-day tickets. They're usually picking these 2 days, these two parks to go to. Again, it's for every family. Some families love animals, and so they might be doing Animal Kingdom. I'm not saying those are the two to go to, but if you're wondering, I don't know which parks to go to, those are the two that are the most popular. Epcot is finishing up a refurbishment. They've been adding a lot to Epcot over the last few years. Guardians of the Galaxy is the new like top ride that everyone loves. You also have the Frozen ride there and Ratatouille, which is super cute. World Showcase it's like a 1.2-mile loop of all the different countries. I believe it's 11 different countries that you can walk around, taste food from all of these countries. So this is Soarin' is at Epcot as well too. Parents and adults I know really love Epcot because they love traveling the World Showcase. So what I suggest to families when they visit Epcot is they have a scavenger hunt during festivals for kids where they will hide things in each of the countries. And so I suggest get the scavenger hunt. It will kind of help entertain the kids because they have to look for certain things in each country. It's like a little sticker map that they fill out. And then the parents you just slowly go through all the countries and then they can fill out their scavenger hunt at the end. Which will help entertain the kids as you kindly slow through Epcot. But they do have like KidCot stations as well in each of the countries where kids can go up and decorate like a little booklet, learn a little bit about the culture for each country as well.
Megan, would you say there's a theme park that you think people would spend multiple days at, like depending on length of stay? What would be your recommendation?
Magic Kingdom.
Okay.
And honestly, Magic Kingdom, there's so much to do at Magic Kingdom. Sometimes it is hard to do it in one day. If people say, oh, I would say 2 days at Magic Kingdom. If people have 5-day tickets, they're doing 2 days at Magic Kingdom. If they have 4-day tickets, they're usually doing one at each, or they're doing Hollywood, Magic, Epcot, and then another at Magic Kingdom. A lot of people kind of leave Animal Kingdom. A lot of people like to think of it as just like a zoo. There is so much more there than just being a zoo. Does have the safari. It does have animals and interactive trails there, but it also has the Wilderness Explorers where its kids can from the movie Up, where you can go on different activities throughout the park. It's got rides there, Flight of Passage and Avatar from the movie Avatar is there, which is so cool. So that's another park that we used to like only spend maybe a half day there, but now that we've really explored the different areas of the park, we love the different areas of the park. Coming eventually, they announced that they're doing the Tree of Life there. They're making a Zootopia like show like within there. So Zootopia thing is coming to Animal Kingdom as well. So they are bringing changes to that park too. Okay, dining reservations and enchanting extras. So these can be booked 60 days in advance. If you are staying on Disney property, you'll be able to book starting 60 days for your entire trip, as long as your trip isn't more than 10 days. If you're more than 10 days, then you'll be checking it, doing it twice, but most people are not staying 10 days. I wish, but you can book 60 days in advance for your entire trip. Most reservations now can be canceled 2 hours in advance. You'll be able to cancel it right on the app. Plan your must-do. If there's a reservation you really want, for example, Cinderella's Castle. Like I know I want to dine at Cinderella's Castle. My daughter really wants that. I'm going to plan that later in my trip because it's going to have more availability, because the people checking in 1 or 2 days ahead of me, they might have already booked up for kind of their first few days of their trip, which are my first few days of the trip. So book it later so you'll have better availability. And then you just need your credit card guarantee is required when booking. Some popular dining. I think I go on to my next one. Kind of talks about some popular dining too. Yeah, there we go. All right. So popular Magic Kingdom, Cinderella's Castle, Be Our Guest, and Liberty Tree Tavern are popular. However, this week when I was there, a lot of the travel agents I was with were speaking very highly of Skipper Canteens. They've recently, I guess, redone their menu, and they were really pleased with it. They said that is like a favorite of their families now. So I think I'm gonna have to add that to our list next time we go, because we have not eaten there. Hollywood Studio, sci-fi dining is popular. Oga's Cantina, it's not really a dining option. It's more of, it's one in Galaxy's Edge, kind of that Star Wars establishment. You go in, you can order drinks. They have like little snacks. It's more of just that Star Wars vibe for you to get to. So don't plan, you wouldn't be getting a meal at Oga's Cantina. Hollywood and Vine is going to be character dining. And then 50s Primetime Cafe. Epcot via Napoli, Akershus is character dining. That's Norway with princesses. We love Coral Reef because it overlooks the aquarium in Disney, in the big Epcot's aquarium, and Space 220 is still a very popular one. Animal Kingdom, you see Yak and Yeti and Tusker House, another character dining. And then Disney Springs, people love the Boathouse and the Edison. T-Rex, Raglan Road, Homecoming, which I didn't put on there, is another popular one. And then for resorts, Chef Mickey's, which I know for a while, a lot of people are giving like kind of bad reviews about Chef Mickey's, but again, they've kind of changed in the past 6 months. People are now like raving about them again. Ohana has character dining in the mornings, and then Topolino, same thing, character dining in the mornings.
Megan, I'm going to ask you a tough question. If you could pick out of this list,
I know
like your top
I was going to ask you that. Okay.
two. Okay, I'll answer mine too. What would you say? What would you recommend for guests?
For just one, if you're making one?
Well, actually, this kind of goes along with the question that just popped up too. Are there any of the character dining that's better than the others? So maybe let's focus on character dining. What would you say your favorite 1 or 2 character dining locations are?
Oh, if I'm doing, okay, so when we were younger, I have 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy. When we were younger, we were all about the princesses. So much about the princesses. We had costume changes during the day with our princesses. We were changing our costumes to meet the princess based on what we were. So I would say Cinderella's Castle was our favorite princess dining. My one daughter didn't eat one day because she literally was just sitting there, like, with her hands in her, staring and watching for that. Otherwise, oh my goodness. I think Chef Mickey's. I think it's just a classic.
Yes,
and I think about Chef Mickey's too, it's in contemporary, so you don't need a park ticket. So that can be one that you visit on a day that you're not going to the parks. Oh, it's also it's in contemporary, which is next to Magic Kingdom. So it can also be done on a day that you're at Magic Kingdom, and you can easily kind of scoot on over to that resort. I've always had good experiences with Chef Mickey's, and I've heard it's gotten even better. So what about you? What are some of your favorite dining?
I think mine is Chef Mickey's. I have to be honest. I'm glad that you said that, Megan. Yeah. So I have 3 kids too. Mine are younger. So I have a 6-year-old, 3-year-old, and then a baby who's never officially been yet. But every time that we've gone, we love Chef Mickey's. We've just had really positive experiences there. I think one thing I would note about the character dining, and I'm sure you'll agree, is I feel like regardless of which character dining you choose, the interactions are all excellent. I feel like, that's what makes Disney magical, is that you're going to get great character interaction. I feel like at Chef Mickey's, for instance, which is a larger restaurant, we saw the characters like 2 or 3 times during our meal. So I just think no matter what you choose, you're going to have a great experience. But I would say Chef Mickey's would be my favorite. And I like Tusker House at Animal Kingdom because I think it's just unique and it has a lot of different unique items, but I have some picky eaters. And I was going to say, I think the menu
is most family friendly at Chef Mickey's.
It is. Yes, I totally agree with you. Completely.
And the Disney attendants that are there, they make sure that you see every character. You know what I mean? So if you're sitting there, don't be afraid to be like, hey, Mickey hasn't been to our table yet, because Mickey might have taken a break and gotten some cheese and might not have realized that he skipped your table. So you would let someone know, and they'll make sure that Mickey gets to you right away if you are ready to go and he hasn't been there yet. So, okay. All right. So enchanting extras are extra things that you can add. One of the most popular is Bippity Boppity Boutique. This is where your prince and princess or your child can be turned into a prince or a princess. This can be booked at that 60 days in advance, and highly suggest booking it at that 60 days. And this one is going to actually open 60 days at midnight ahead of time. So book in advance, because this one will book up right away. There's animal tours at Animal Kingdom. We've done the Caring for Giants one, which was an elephant one, where they took us kind of backstage in the back area of the safari, where we got to get up close with the elephants, and they just kind of gave us a little bit of, it was an educational trip about those elephants, which was really cool. There's VIP tours, which they're expensive, and it's a 7-hour minimum, but they're amazing. I did one on Sunday, and it was great. Our guide took us. You are going in, you're skipping the lightning lanes, you're going in the side entrances to get in onto the ride. You go to the next ride, you're going in backstage areas to bypass the crowds to get to your next ride faster. They're driving you from park to park. Anytime you get out of the car, they're there with a basket. Hi, would you like any snacks? They have a basket of snacks. We walk off a Slinky Dog. Hi, would you like a Mickey ice cream bar? Here you go. Here's a Mickey ice cream bar for you. Who needs a Mickey pretzel? So they really do take care of you. It was definitely, it's a splurge, but you definitely feel like a VIP that day.
Sure.
The guides were wonderful. The capture your moment photo sessions are really cool. This is where you can reserve a time to have a photographer for a set amount of time where they will take pictures of you. And if you have Memory Maker, you'll get to download all those pictures. I've done a capture your moment photo session. I think I had 80 pictures at the end of my half-hour session that were gorgeous. And I was able to download all of those. After hours are returning after the new year. These are special events held at the park after park closes. And the nice thing about this is, so it's the same thing, rides will be available. Usually there's like refreshments and little ice cream treats that are included as well. And we like this because the parks usually are pretty empty. There really is no wait. When we did it many years ago, my kids, we were telling them to throw away their ice cream because we were already getting on the ride. They couldn't eat their ice cream fast enough because like, oh, look, we're already getting on the ride. Some rides, Big Thunder, I remember we went on and we didn't even have to get off the ride. They kept us on and we just kept, like, would you like to go on again? We're like, yes, we do. So we went on again and then we got off. So very cool. And then there's the holiday parties. Mickey's Not So Scary. Those are extra. Those would not be included in your ticket. And Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party. My Disney experience, definitely make sure you download the app. The app is very important because it's going to be kind of your key to everything when you are there. You can make dining reservations on there, mobile ordering. You can do shopping from there, view your pictures, Genie Plus, also park maps, which I love for character locations. This icon location down here, if you click that will bring you to the park map. And up at the top, it'll show wait times. But if you click that arrow next to wait times, I can click characters and it will show me all the characters that are in the park, which I love. It'll show you entertainment and you can see what time parades are at. So the app really will give you everything that you need to know. So make sure you and play around with it ahead of times. I may or may not just happen to jump on it every so often, be like, oh, what's the wait time right now at the park? How are the parks looking today? It's just kind of see what it's like. Yeah. Oh, looks like it's raining there. The outdoor rides are closed, and I go to look at the weather and yeah, it's raining there. So I just happen to look at it every so often. Okay, there are changes coming to Disney World. So no more park reservations. So you might have heard Disney World requires park reservations. As of January 9th, those are no longer needed. So that means you can wake up in the morning and say, which park do you want to go to? I don't know which one you want. And then you can just go to that park. You do not need to plan in advance. Dining plans are coming back as well on January 9th. And I'm going to go over what those would include soon. They haven't given us details yet, but they said there's a seamless airport transportation. I noticed I spelled spelling error in there, but transportation's coming back. Not sure what it's going to look like, but they did say it's coming. Genie Plus changes are coming. We don't have those details yet. I'm going to share with you what that looks like now, so you can plan now if those changes aren't in effect by the time of you going. And then park hopping restrictions are lifted January 9th too. So that means you can park. Right now it's set that you can't really park hop until 2:00, but now after January 9th, I can go to Magic Kingdom. If I'm done at 10 o'clock, I can hop on over to Hollywood Studios or Epcot. I don't have to wait until a certain time. So those are some of the changes coming in 2024. Here is what Walt Disney World dining plans. They're going to offer 2 dining plans, the quick service dining plan and the table service dining plan. And you can see there what that's going to include. And these are how many meals per person per night. So if I'm staying 4 nights and I have the quick service dining plan, I'm going to get 8 counter service meals. So think quick service, counter service, food court meals. I would have 8 credits that will be linked to my account on my Disney Experience account. And it will just deduct them as I go, as I purchase them. I will also get 4 snacks if I'm staying for 4 nights. And then I also get 1 resort refillable mug. And there are stations at the resort that you can fill up your mug each day. If I'm doing the table service dining plan and I'm staying 4 nights, I will get 4 quick service food court meals. I will get 4 table service meals. So 4 sit down meals. I'll get 4 snacks and that mug. A few specialty restaurants will require 2 table service credits. But most are going to just be that 1 table service credit. And on the side there, those are kind of about estimated costs, about how much it costs per night per person for the dining plan. Guests love to add the dining plan because it kind of gives them that all-inclusive feel. Most of their food or all their food is going to be paid for when they arrive. So you're really not having to pay, and you already paid for your resort, you already paid for your tickets. So most of what you're going to be getting there has already been paid for. So a lot of guests like that. So that's the dining plan. And I do, a lot of the plans do also include for adults, those alcoholic beverages too. So you can get a credit for that.
Megan, can I ask you a question about dining plans? Would you say they're a pretty good bang for your buck?
I think it is worth it. The table service one, I think it is worth if you are doing character meals, because
Yes.
character meals, I think even for,
agree.
let me go back to that one real quick. So child is $28 for a table service dining plan. If I'm doing a character meal on itself is easily $25 to $30 for a child, and that's for
Yes.
one meal. So if you are thinking you're going to be doing those character meals, I do think the table service dining plan would be worth it.
I agree. Yeah, I think you captured it for sure.
Okay. All right, Disney Genie Plus, there are changes coming in 24. We don't know what they're going to look like. So let's talk about what they look like now, because we don't know. It might be summer or fall by the time they make those changes. Disney always doesn't give us those right away. Individual lightning lanes. This is where you can purchase a ride ahead of time. Genie Plus lightning lanes. This is where you can make your selection every 2 hours and you can kind of return. It'll tell you what time to come. You can bypass the standby lane. You can cancel and rebook. And you can make your first selection at both of these. You can make your first selection at 7 a.m. And I'm going to kind of go through a little bit more about the different types, ways to ride. So here's the different ways that I can ride rides when I'm at the park. So first one is just the traditional standby lane. Nothing to schedule in advance. I'm just going to walk up and I'm just going to hop in line. They'll have the wait time posted. I'm just going to hop in line, ride the ride. Some rides are going to have our individual lightning lanes. At 7 a.m., I can purchase. These are going to be a set price. Usually they're anywhere from $12 to $20 per person per ride. But I can select the time that I want to ride. Hey, we're going to be at the park at this time. I'm going to purchase it for 5:30 tonight. And so that way we can all go at 5:30 and I know exactly what time I'm going to ride that ride. I'm guaranteeing my chance to ride that ride. Virtual queue is at 7 a.m. or 1 p.m. and it's right on the app, and you just follow the signs for virtual queue and it will send you a push notification when it is your turn. It will say, yes, you've joined the queue, and it'll send you a notification when it's your turn to ride. So when I was there, I joined the virtual queue for Tron. I was able to join. It sent me a note, my phone buzzed and said, it's now time to ride, head to Tron. And it gave me an hour window for me to ride. So it said, return by this time to ride. And virtual queues right now would be for Tron and Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are the two that have the virtual queue. And then there's Lightning Lane with Genie Plus. So you must purchase Genie Plus ahead of time so you can make your first selection at 7 a.m. You can purchase it anytime after midnight. There's no reason to stay up until midnight to purchase it. It has sold out in the past, but when it has sold out, it's usually like at noon or 12:30. Like it's not happening before 7 a.m. I suggest always do it by 6:45. That way you're on your phone in case there's an error, like, oh, I got to grab my credit card again, or I typed the number wrong. It gives you a few minutes without feeling rushed. You can make your first selection at 7 a.m. And then there's and at that time, I'll pick a ride and it'll tell me what time I ride. And again, you have your 1 hour window to return. And they do give you a 5 to 10 minute flex time on either side of that window. So if you're finishing up at a restaurant or, stuck eating, and you're hurrying over there, you don't have to panic if you're getting there a couple minutes late. Usually they're pretty flexible or understanding about that. These are the rides that have the individual lightning lane selection. So if you want to pay to guarantee riding any of these rides, at Magic Kingdom, we have Seven Dwarfs and Tron. Animal Kingdom, we have Flight of Passage. Hollywood Studios, Rise of the Resistance. And Epcot, you have Guardians of the Galaxy. Rise of the Resistance, I can still join just by jumping in the regular standby line. Avatar, Flight of Passage, I can still ride by still just jumping in the standby line. Guardians of the Galaxy, it's either the virtual queue or paying for it. In Tron, it's either the virtual queue or paying for it. They don't have, Guardians of the Galaxy and Tron do not have a standby lane at this time. Okay, just a few, kind of has a little chart there showing like kind of, is it my turn to ride? So you can book your next Genie Plus every 2 hours after park opening or after you ride. So if at 7 a.m. I book my first Genie Plus and it's at 9 a.m., I'm riding Peter Pan at 9 a.m. Right at 9 a.m., I can boom, go on, book my next Genie Plus and keep going. If I book my first one at 7 a.m., but it's not until 10:30, I can actually book my next one at 10 o'clock if the park opens at 8 o'clock, 2 hours after park opening, book it at my next one at 10 o'clock. So that way I can have, so it's every 2 hours or after you ride. And it will tell you in the app, it'll say like, it's not time to do it yet. So you can look at it. People ask, should I get Genie Plus for every park? I would suggest it for Magic Kingdom. There is a lot to do there. It isn't, if I was going to do it for 2 parks, I would do it for Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. If it was just 1 park, I would do it Magic Kingdom. A lot of people do not get it for Epcot or Animal Kingdom, only because they don't have as many attractions to do in those parks. So if they need to wait in the standby lane, it's not going to be like, oh, we waited here for an hour, now we don't have as much time. You would still have time to get to the other rides. So that's why they don't necessarily get it for those parks. Individual lightning lanes are time savers. Sometimes those wait times can be hours long, 2 or 3 hours long, depending on the time of year that you're visiting. So that's something you just kind of got to figure out whether or not it's a benefit for your family. And also refresh. So when you're on Genie Plus, if you're like, oh, I wish we had an earlier time, refresh on the app. You can modify your time if something in refresh, and if an earlier time pops up, you can click that earlier time for you. Okay, additional tips, free ice water. You can always go up to any counter and get that ice water. We will bring in it. Sometimes we'll bring in water bottles that have like ice in there. Sometimes even brought in empty water bottles and just fill it with ice water. And Disney does allow you to bring in snacks and coolers if you want to. So what we've done is I've ordered from the company called Disney Dolphin, but there's also Walmart. I know people order from Amazon, Publix. You can get food delivered to your room. We love ordering like breakfast foods to have food in, like, so our kids can get a little something in them. We hit a few rides and then we get a bigger breakfast because we like taking advantage of being in the parks early before it gets too crowded and getting a few rides done. A few test tracked, Expedition Everest. They have the single rider line. So and I know Smuggler's Run, there's a few other roller coasters that have single rider. So if you don't mind separating from your family, you can go on the single rider line and it's usually much, much less weight. Bring ponchos. It's Disney, it's Florida. If it actually does not rain on your trip, consider yourself lucky. I feel like it's going to rain at some point. So have those ponchos there. Disney World has them, but they are, price tag, they're probably over, that says $10 each. I think they might be more than that. So hit the Dollar Tree, hit Walmart, hit somewhere, Target beforehand and grab those ponchos to throw on ahead of time. If you're using a stroller, tie a ribbon or balloon so you can easily find it, because they have stroller attendants that will move the strollers around just to kind of keep the area condensed. And your stroller may not be in the exact same spot that you parked it before, but if you have a ribbon on it, you'll be able to find it quickly. Ziploc bags are super helpful for those wet clothes, snacks, keeping your phone dry if you happen to go on any of those water rides. External phone charger is definitely key. I use one all the time. You're going to need to charge your phone throughout the day. Disney has a rider switch or rider swap program, which is definitely beneficial for those of you that have young kids. So if you have a little one that is too little to ride, an adult has to sit out. What you would do is they have someone, you go up to the cast member, you say, we would like to take advantage of rider swap. And they're going to say, okay, who's not riding? And you would say, okay, dad's not riding because mom's going on with, I'm going on with my daughter. My son's too young to go. He's too little to go on. So dad doesn't want to go on. So they're going to say, okay. And they're going to let mom and daughter go on, but they don't want dad to ride by himself. So when I get off, dad's going to be able to bring a guest on with him. So my daughter actually gets to go on again. And when he goes on, he doesn't have to wait in the standby lane. He actually gets to jump in the lightning lane and not wait that whole time. So it's definitely beneficial for families that have little ones that want to make sure that everyone gets to experience the magic and experience the ride. So definitely ask and go up to, and you would just talk to the cast member in front of the ride and just say, we want to do rider swap, and they will get it all set up for you. They'll just want to know who's not going on. We use that many times when our kids were younger. You can make room requests if you'd like to stay in a special area. They don't guarantee room locations, but they will take your requests. And from my experience, Disney usually is pretty good about that. Sometimes guests are going to want to be, I've had guests even request certain floors, certain room numbers. I've had guests request certain buildings. We can put those requests in. Don't forget about Memory Maker, which is we never go on vacation without it. We always have Memory Maker. There's PhotoPass photographers all throughout the park that will be taking your pictures. And Memory Maker gives me the option when I get home to download all those pictures. And usually when I get home, I'm downloading hundreds of pictures. And that's even on like a short trip. Airport transportation, Disney no longer has their transportation, so you have to look at outside companies. Mears Connect is a shuttle bus that brings guests to the parks. Uber and Lyft are also very popular. And if you're looking for more of a private transportation, I've been requesting for a lot of clients because I've used them myself, is Orlando Shades. They have been wonderful. I've used them 3 or 4 times now and always give me amazing service and are more reasonably priced than other companies. So that's why I like to recommend them. Mouse Dining is a great website to use if you're looking for those hard to get reservations. It's a website I use for my clients. That's something I do. If my client's like, oh, we aren't able to get this reservation, I'll send an alert out. So that way I can try and grab that reservation for my client. A lot of times, if you're something they're trying to get, keep checking, especially 2 or 3 days before you're looking to have it, because that week before, those few days before, people are finalizing their plans and they're going to start canceling reservations. And then that's when you start seeing things pop up. And I feel like Disney sometimes adds those reservations into they kind of add, oh, we have enough availability. We have enough staff here. Let's add a few more reservations. And so I usually see a few more pop up 2 or 3 days or even the day of your trip. If you're going to need a scooter or stroller rentals, consider Scooter Bug or Kingdom Strollers. Those are the companies that I reach out to when booking for a client. Disney Around the World, just taking a break from Disney World, just something I want to share with you is that Disney does have destinations throughout the world. Disney cruises are extremely popular right now. I believe most of the ships are sailing at 98% capacity. So they are extremely popular. They are booked up. Many cruise lines and itineraries already are sold out in certain categories. So cruises are great for especially like generational, like family reunions or multi-generation families, because there's something for everyone on those. Kids love the kids clubs on those cruises. Then you have Alani, which is on Oahu in Hawaii. It is much more of a Hawaiian resort with just Disney touches throughout, which is absolutely beautiful. They have studios, 1 and 2 bedroom villas. They have great pools there. You can see it's right on the beach. Disneyland is amazing. I've been to Disneyland twice this summer and I'm almost like I like Disneyland better. I love Disney World. Like it has my heart, but like I love the simplicity of Disneyland. There's only 2 parks at Disneyland and they're 100 yards across from each other. Like you can't beat how easy it is to walk from one to the next. The parks are smaller, so they're easier to walk around. I love this. And because there's only 2 parks, you only need like 3 or 4 days to visit both parks and really dive into them. So I feel like you can really, you don't need to commit as much time to that trip. If you don't have as much time, it's a great option. And then Adventures by Disney are guided tours that Disney offers. You're not going to find any characters on these trips. The only thing about these trips is that you're going to expect is the Disney service, the customer service that you get from them. They take care of you. I actually did one of the Adventures by Disney trips this summer. Everything was taken care of, all of our transfers, airport transportation, hotel, meals. They arrange all of it. They have special kids activities. It is definitely, if you're looking to travel outside of the parks, they have destinations in Europe. I think they even have some going to Antarctica. So they literally go everywhere. So I'm happy to answer any questions about any of those other ones that you have. If there's any other questions, my email's there, my phone number's there. You can reach out either way. We can also check out the chat. We are travel agents with Disney. A lot of people don't know Disney travel agents are free. Disney includes the cost of a travel agent in every trip that they package that they offer. So when you don't use one, you're kind of paying for one without getting the service. So if if you're not using us as a travel, use somebody as a travel agent. They're your one point of contact. They're there to answer all your questions and offer any help that you might need. let's see, dining reservations. I'm trying to think of other things, bippity boppity boutique reservations, kind of all that. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions, and definitely reach out. And definitely use a travel agent. We're awesome.
We are awesome, but I'm giving a shout out to Megan here. Megan is amazing. I can vouch for her, and you have so many experiences, Megan, which I'm so glad that you shared that slide at the end with all the different Disney destinations. Because I think sometimes when we think about Disney, we do think about Disney World because that's, maybe probably like the most well-known, the one that most people travel to. But you're right, there's just so many other available destinations, and Megan has done all of them. So you really know your stuff. So I think I appreciate you saying that. And I think that if people do have questions or that's something that they're interested in doing, definitely reach out. And I just threw Megan's email here in the chat, but I know you just had that
Yes.
up on your last slide.
Great. Thank you.
Well, does anybody have any questions tonight other than the ones we've already asked? Well, if not, Megan, that was another, any favorite
We have a favorite
snacks?
snacks. Ooh, talking about food.
Oh,
It's my favorite topic.
oh man. Okay. I'm thinking.
At Disney.
Yeah, obviously Disney. Yeah.
I'm going for the Mickey pretzel. I know that's a simple one, but like just having a pretzel, just a bunch of bread. I like carbs, with salt in a shape of a Mickey hat. That one's so good. Mickey ice cream bar.
I know. I kind of like
That's
I know
iconic.
there are like fancier snacks, at some of the quick service meals that are sometimes even more seasonal. But when my family goes, we're getting the churros, we're getting the Mickey ice cream bars, we're getting the Dole Whips. Those are the ones we're going for. We like kind of the classic. Anything Mickey shaped is what we're going for. Yeah. So
Excellent. Any other questions? Well, as always, that was a whirlwind through the Disney
it's so much
process.
information. So
So
that's
much
why reach out to
information.
me if you have any questions. And yeah.
Well, and I'm so glad they're bringing back the dining plan.
Yes. Guests love it. They love having that all-inclusive feel. And they have a special offer going on right now for I think it's, what is it? March. I don't have the top dates off the top of my head, but kids can dine, or they get 50% off tickets and dining packages for if you add a dining package to your or if you book a package with a dining meal added to it, kids get discounted. So there's an offer going on right now.
That's a nice savings.
That's a nice savings. Yes. All right. Well, thank you all for coming tonight. We appreciate it. And thanks again, Megan and Aaron. You guys were awesome.